Story: The Bridge Between Us. Tommy had always been the quiet kid. He preferred the comfort of books, the solace of music, and the steady rhythm of his own thoughts. He wasn't the one who shouted out answers in class or ran to join a game of soccer at recess. Instead, he often sat on the edge, watching life unfold in front of him like it was a movie he wasn't quite part of. But there was one person who always seemed to find him, no matter where he was or how hidden he tried to be. That person was Sam. Sam was everything Tommy wasn't: outgoing, loud, and always the first to crack a joke or start a new adventure. Where Tommy was reserved, Sam was a whirlwind of energy. But despite their differences, they'd been best friends since they were kids. They'd met on the first day of kindergarten, when Tommy had found a quiet corner of the playground, and Sam had just appeared, grinning from ear to ear. Without a second thought, Sam had sat down next to Tommy and started talking. And that was it. They'd been inseparable ever since. As they grew older, their friendship remained strong, though the differences between them became more pronounced. Sam had always been surrounded by people, while Tommy preferred solitude. Sam thrived in social situations, but Tommy could never shake his discomfort around large groups. Still, Sam never pushed him to be more outgoing. Instead, he stayed by his side, offering quiet support in the background. One autumn afternoon, when they were both 15, things started to change between them. It was a Friday, and Tommy was feeling particularly off. He'd just gotten back from a long week of exams and assignments and was exhausted, both physically and mentally. Sam, of course, had made plans to go out with some friends after school, a usual thing for him. Tommy didn't mind. He was used to being alone. But today, he just couldn't shake the feeling of isolation that seemed to weigh heavier than usual. He hadn't spoken much all day, and his thoughts were starting to spiral. As the final bell rang and students poured out of the classrooms, Tommy made his way toward the school gates, ready to head home and curl up with his guitar. But as he stepped outside, he saw Sam leaning against the brick wall by the entrance, his backpack slung casually over one shoulder. "Hey," Sam called out, flashing him a grin. Tommy was surprised. "Aren't you going out with your friends?" Sam shrugged. "I figured I'd hang with you for a bit today. You look like you could use a break." Tommy hesitated, unsure how to respond. He wasn't used to being the center of attention, even from his best friend. "I'm fine, really. You don't have to stay." But Sam just shook his head, his eyes serious now. "You don't have to pretend with me, Tommy. I can tell when something's off. Let's just walk, yeah?" Tommy sighed. He didn't want to burden Sam with his feelings, but there was something about the way Sam was standing there, his presence a steady anchor, that made him feel like maybe it was okay to let someone in. So, without a word, Tommy nodded, and the two of them started walking down the sidewalk. The streets were quiet, and the cool breeze rustled through the trees. Sam didn't push him to talk. He simply walked beside him, the comfortable silence stretching between them. Tommy felt a little better just by having Sam there. After a while, they came to the park, a place they'd spent countless hours in when they were younger, playing on swings and climbing trees. Now, the park felt different, quieter. Tommy sat down on one of the benches, and Sam followed suit, kicking his feet up onto the bench in front of him. Finally, Sam broke the silence. "You know, you don't have to do everything alone, right?" Tommy looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" Sam turned to face him, his usual playful expression softened. "I know you like your space, but you don't always have to carry everything by yourself. You've got me, man. I've always got your back. You don't need to hide your problems or push people away just because you don't want to bother them." Tommy felt a lump rise in his throat. He had always prided himself on being independent, on not relying on anyone else. But the truth was, it was exhausting. Sometimes he just wanted someone to see him, to understand that he wasn't as okay as he appeared. Sam was right. He didn't have to carry everything alone. For the first time in a long while, Tommy let his guard down. He told Sam about the stress of school, the feeling of not quite fitting in, and how sometimes, even though he had people around him, He felt invisible. Sam didn't interrupt. He didn't try to fix it. He just listened. And when Tommy finished, Sam gave him a small smile. "Dude, I get it," Sam said quietly. "I don't always get everything you're going through, but I'm here for you. I'll always be here. You don't have to face things alone." Tommy felt a weight lift off his shoulders. It wasn't a